This next number goes out to the Mild Rumpus and Steve Donahue, who tagged us in their videos, so thank you both so much. I can't believe 2 people mentioned us.
Yeah, I know.
By the time you guys are seeing this video, I guess it's not
It's
not the second one on our channel.
Oh.
You know, this is our 4th that we've shot, but I don't know what order they're gonna go up in. So anyway, I feel like part of the community, and so we're gonna do the Annoyed BookTuber Tag.
Yes, we are. I have the questions here. Because we were tagged to do them?
Well, I was gonna say because we're annoyed, but we're not really annoyed.
Yeah, we watched their videos, and we watched them a few nights ago. I don't remember the questions, so this is going to be off the top of our heads.
So, like, everybody annoys me at some point, so keep that in mind. But I would say, I feel bad, almost, like, because everybody that did this video has examples. I don't normally really see anything... I don't get annoyed with publishers. I get annoyed with authors. I guess sometimes I get annoyed with publishers giving authors book deals. Because, like, I will pick up a book and go, like, why the hell did this get printed? Or, why did this get a marketing budget? This book sucks. So, I don't know. I guess in those cases, I guess my anger is maybe geared towards the publisher. I will say, because, yeah, I mean, I definitely see a lot of books that don't deserve the hype. Or they're just, like, so simple and stupid, and I don't understand why they're pushed everywhere. But again, I don't know if that's the publisher's fault. Like,
right.
When you see a book heavily promoted, you know, in Barnes & Noble and on Amazon, and it's everywhere, and it's like, that book is garbage, can we please start talking about something else? You know? Like, I don't understand. Like, and why did that author get all this acclaim and all these, you know... privileges, I guess, you know, why did you sign them? I know there's talented people out there who are trying to get published who probably aren't, and, like, give them a chance.
Interesting. I mean, there's plenty of books out there, and I'm sure most of them are bad, so...
Ooh.
But,
we're making some enemies in the book, too.
Thousands of books, millions out there? Like, not everyone's going to be a gem.
No.
But that's why you go to BookTube, you look for recommendations for people that like reading the same sorts of genres that you do.
Yeah, that's true.
For me... I can actually think of something more recently that happened to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had an answer to this. Publishers that are selling books that look to be print on demand on Amazon, but they don't tell you that anywhere. I've been reading Gene Wolfe. I've mentioned that in our first video. And I bought a bunch more of his books because not all of them were available on Libby from our library for me to read. I've been reading his on my Kindle. But I really enjoyed the Book of the New Sun so much, or I'm just about to finish it. I'm enjoying it. I wanted physical copies. So I bought a couple compilation books of his, and one of the publishers, I think it's Orb Books, I think. It looks like it's definitely print on demand, but it looks like they zoomed the text. The font size is larger, and it's like blurry and not very solid, and it's like not going to be a great reading experience. And the one compilation that I have is like the only one that's in existence right now. I couldn't find another version of it, and it's
now that you brought that up, I have a couple books I bought recently. I wanted to get one and show.
Yeah.
And like, what the hell is this? It looks like print on demand. Just wait, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be back. We'll be right back. We grabbed the books that we're going to talk about here. I was correct. Orb Books. The first one was The Island of Dr. Death and Other Stories. And I mean, obviously, not obviously, but sometimes you can find older versions of this on like eBay, but if they're out of print versions, they could be really expensive. So this is like my only option for reading a bunch of these short stories. So like I have to deal with it and read this. And then this is the sequel to the Book of the New Sun, one of the sequels. And first of all, it came like destroyed because Amazon throws everything in a bubble mailer. And half the books I order are like this, and I have to replace them. But I opened it up, and it's the same thing. You can see, I don't know, it's like very blurry and it's just not very solid. It seems a little bit like they zoomed into it and blew it up a bit. It's just now like the only way for me to read these, because not all of them are in our library, because this is part one. It's a compilation. There's 2 books in here, and there's 2 more books, kind of like the other one I have. You can find the single books, but they're not in print anymore, so you're going to be paying $20 to $30 per book, maybe more on Amazon. There's a couple of old compilations in hardcover that are like $50, so it's like I don't know what to do. Like I don't want to.
The damage to this is just disgraceful.
I'm definitely returning this, and I'm gonna probably look for older versions as they come up. Because like book 1 is available in our library, and book 2 is not. So it's like I'm just screwed then.
Yeah. Talking about print on demand, I ordered, this is a ridiculous... So I started reading the Marcus Aurelius Meditations. I don't know why, I thought I should. And I got like 3 pages in, and that was months ago. But he mentions this book. By the way, the Marcus Aurelius Meditations, this is a bit of a tangent, but he didn't write those. They're just collections of things he liked from other people, so I don't know why he gets all the acclaim. But in the version I was reading, they reference the discourses. Like, look at this. Look at my head. Look at how big this is.
Head
this is ridiculous. Size. Yes, and I'm going to do it again, because here's another book that I wanted. It does look like a textbook. It's called Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds. I thought that sounded good. I thought it was going to be like, you know, a book about psychology. Look at this. Who reads this on the couch? Look at this by my head. Here, we have a head scale on this channel now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. This is like a coffee table book, but who imagine coming over your friend's house and you're waiting for them to get ready so you can go out to dinner, and this is on the coffee table. Are you going to flip through this? I don't think so.
It's got to be a coffee table book about coffee tables.
It is more like a textbook. People don't buy textbooks. If it's a textbook, you should label it that way on Amazon, because I don't even think it's supposed to be a textbook. But like, am I going to read this in bed?
Well, you know what also looks like kind of like a textbook?
What?
House of Leaves.
I hate that book. I hate that book. It's garbage.
There might be another video on that, because we both have read that as well.
Biggest waste of my money.
We'll go on to the next question.
I hate people who make their little comments like that. I don't know why. I know they come from a good place normally, but like, I don't want to know anything, to the point where sometimes I don't even like to look up books on Goodreads.
No.
Because I really try to be an independent thinker, but sometimes if I look up a book on Goodreads and I see it's got an average rating of like 4.4, I'm like, wow, this is a great book. And if I see it's got an average rating of like 3 stars, I'm like, oh, this book sucks. I haven't even read it yet. Like, why am I letting other random people, I mean, I know that's what we're doing here. We're random people giving you our opinion, but I don't always want to hear your opinion before I read something, and I don't like the heads up. We get into arguments sometimes, because he'll try to tell me about, maybe it's a book or a movie, and he'll go, yeah, and there's a part, and I'll go, no, stop talking, and he'll keep going, and he'll be like, no, but you don't understand, like, I'm like, I know, I don't want to understand. I want to see it and experience it for myself completely in a bubble for the first time without any outside influence, and that's really hard to do. It's kind of impossible, but I like as little information going into stuff as possible, which is why I own books that I end up reading and realizing I didn't need to buy this. I don't like it.
I obviously have been spoiled by things. My problem is I get so into something that I want to like look up what I just read, or even if it's a movie or a TV show, and then like it'll be like you'll type in the name of the book or something, like, oh, this is great when this character dies, and you're like, I didn't even meet that character yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try not to do that anymore. It's annoying because I get excited, and especially with places like Reddit, there's like a subreddit for everything, like an author, the book series that you're reading. You can go in there and see other people's opinions, but you can't really do that until you're done with it. And even then, like you might want to reread it and figure it out for yourself. Because you can very easily get influenced by what other people are saying. Yeah. Because they're not 100% correct. It's just their opinion on stuff, you know?
That's Reddit people are also kind of crazy.
I'm a Reddit person. My parents' neighborhood, a couple houses down, there was one of those free bookstores on like this edge of a street.
The little free library.
The little free library, that's what I meant. And I always thought that was really strange, and I felt weird about opening it up and looking at the books.
Me too.
So I've never experienced one of those.
It feels like walking into someone's house uninvited, or like opening your neighbor's mailbox. Like,
yeah, that's what it feels like.
I don't know. I know that it's like you guys are all cool with it, but to me, I feel like I'm looking in your underwear drawer or something. I'm not going to do it. I don't know. It's like, I think it's like heartwarming and wholesome, but it's also like, I saw someone getting upset online because like books were stolen from their little free library. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's gonna happen. That sucks. Yeah. But you kind of have to expect that.
I don't know if I would say annoyed. We found a like local used bookstore, and we went there, and we've like checked out thrift stores and garage sales, and I just find that I never find anything that's good. Like, most of the stuff that's there is garbage.
It sucks.
But that just means you have to go there all the time and pick through stuff. And I don't really want to take that much time doing it. You know, like finding a book I might want to read for $3 but checking 30 times for it is not really that.
Yeah, what you
that's
save in
annoying.
money, you lose in time.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of going to a used bookstore and browsing the shelves and finding a hidden gem and saving money on it. But that doesn't really like translate to real life in my experience. First of all, there's not a lot of used bookstores anymore. And the one that is by us that we went to, it's tiny. There's like 2 tables of books and 6 shelves, and it's mostly books that like I think people regretted buying, like
Danielle Steele novels.
Oh, you love to make fun of her. I did buy
my
a couple
mom, my
books.
grandma read her.
I bought a couple
You
books
did.
at the used bookstore.
But that store, the specific store we went to, like they didn't sort things. Like there were like
No,
boxes of
no.
books under the table with like a tablecloth
That was
hanging
weird.
over them. Like, am I allowed to go through these?
That was weird.
They had books stacked on top of each other, like this way. Like, so you have to like pick all the books up and look through them.
There were like random cookbooks.
Yeah.
You know, like
A lot of
things I
stuff
don't
that-
need to own.
Yeah, people like donate them or get rid of them because they
Yeah.
get it as a gift type thing.
And then, like, I love to support small businesses. We are business owners, so, like, when we see a new brick-and-mortar business that we can shop at, I get excited because
Yeah.
I'm, like, happy to spend my money with someone who's, like, building their own thing. But
Yeah.
if the merchandise isn't good,
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy much.
And we'll go back there and check it out again.
Yeah.
But we just, I guess you bought a couple books, but I didn't find anything, and I want.
I have one over here that I bought. Maybe I only bought one. I think I only bought this. Like, this is a book I would never pay full price for. I don't even know. I think I was flipping through it and they were pro raw milk, which I don't think I'll ever drink, but I appreciate the mentality. I don't know, you know, I like people that don't just go along with like the popular narrative. So I was like, okay, you know what? I think this was $3. Like, yes, I will buy that. But, you know, I might never read it also.
Yeah. Well, I wanted a book and I couldn't find anything and I wasn't satisfied and we wound up at Barnes & Noble afterwards. So it was on the way home.
We did. Okay, that's not a question for me. I don't know what the difference is between a novella and a short story.
Oh, I think it's a page count thing. I don't know what the exact off the top of my head.
I don't know. I'm not educated enough in literature to answer this question.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I feel like collections that I have are like that. I guess it's a difference of like if you're going to a short story collection, are you expecting to read something that's like 6 pages long and then you get something that's 70? That's pretty, you know.
You're kind of getting more for your money though, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I don't read compilations, because there's this anal part of my mind that's like, well, you can't say you read the book unless you read the whole book, and I don't want to read stories back to back. But I'm trying to get over that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like short stories and short fiction. I have a couple different compilations that I need to get to. There's a Hemingway.
We both have that because I bought. I'm trying to get out of my rut, so I did buy
Yeah.
that. I haven't read any of them yet.
I've read a few stories from there. I think there might be some longer ones, but I think it's missing. I think The Old Man and the Sea. I think that's maybe considered a novella. I'm not sure. I think it's short. I don't think it's very long.
I bought the ebook on Kindle, so I think we can share it.
We can share it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I hate those.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if I own any, but I think we looked at some at Barnes & Noble and I was like, it feels cheap to me.
Yes.
I wouldn't, if there was a version to not get that, I would probably choose that.
It's like sloppy work.
Not for us, I guess.
No. I remember I don't know if this is just me, but it felt like at one point it was like every book had that, and I hate it.
It's like construction paper pages.
It's like they printed it on garbage. Gotta talk about annotations for a second. I keep seeing girls on TikTok giving weird ass advice to men, saying like, if you want to get a gift for your girlfriend or a girl you like, annotate a book for her. What the fuck is this advice? What is with Gen Z and their love of annotations? Do not write in my books, and please don't waste your time annotating. I think that's so weird. If you have something to say to me, just say it. Why are we writing in books?
Yeah, if you get it used, I guess that's fine. You're going to find like highlighting maybe and underlining. Annotations, I mean, I don't really care what other people wrote about a book that I want to read. It's my own fault if I buy a used book. It shouldn't be in a library book, though. You shouldn't be writing in library books.
No, because everybody funded those, so you don't get to be the one that writes in it. But why are you donating a book full of annotations? What was the point of doing the annotating?
Yeah, didn't you like the book?
Well, why did you annotate it if you don't want to keep it? That's just, unless you died and someone else donated it without knowing.
Yeah, personally, I don't think I would annotate on pages. I would give myself notes, maybe on like a separate notebook or a sticky note or something, or on a laptop while I'm reading. I don't know. I give myself notes, but I don't take out a pencil.
Annotations are, I think they're like different from notes though. I don't know. I am one of the unfortunate people who had a high school teacher that made us annotate books as an assignment. I would be up until 1 a.m. and my dad would come in my room and be like, are you seriously still doing this? What is the point of this exercise? Well, it was so stupid. And here I am all these years later and I still think it's stupid. So for that reason, I'm out. I'm never going to annotate. Yeah. I just don't see the point, except this. This is one exception. When I get a recipe from the internet and I choose to change the quantity of an ingredient, or I skip an ingredient entirely, I do mark the recipe. Okay. That I will do.
That's fine. I mean,
but otherwise, I'm not writing in books. I will maybe highlight a book if I'm having a hard time getting through it and I want to absorb the information. Sometimes that helps me. But that wasn't what the question was anyway.
No, I think you just don't like annotations.
I don't like the people that are all hot for annotations.
Like House of Leaves.
Well, that book... You just love bringing that up.
What was the first book we read together? I don't want any changes made unless it's like a misspelling or misprint that's being fixed.
Oh, but wait, though.
Does that mean like changing language because it's no longer like considered acceptable? I'm against that.
Yeah, I'm against that. I kind of take that... I feel like that question might be a little bit broad or I'm misinterpreting it. But I think of when you were trying to read, I want to say it was like Robinson Crusoe, where they had the weird F's. That they changed to the modern version. Like, I think we all benefit from making it easier to read.
I think it's an S. It's a weird S.
Something weird like that. But I think we should preserve what an author put out. And if we don't like it anymore, then people don't like it anymore.
You should have choices, too. Like, if there's a corrected version of that book, you should be... No. You don't think so?
You have no business correcting it. It's not by William Shakespeare... That's a whole other can of worms because people say that he didn't exist or something. But, it's not by Stephen King if you're changing Stephen King's work.
Yeah, well, maybe this is off this question a bit, but like when there's... How do I say this? Like interpretations, I guess, is the way to say it. Like there are books like Beowulf that has been interpreted. So you have choices of which author did the interpretation. Some might be more... modern, some might be trying to do a direct translation.
Well, wait. Is it an interpretation or a translation? Because I consider those two different things.
I don't know.
A translation should be as close to the original language as it is. Like when you read a Japanese book and it's translated into English, it shouldn't be changing the meaning.
Yeah, but there are definitely different versions of Beowulf that are like that. Like Tolkien did one. Some of them might be more like you're reading like Old English. Some might be like word for word translation. Some might be more modern. I think like this is like a thing with like the Bible too. There's different versions of the Bible.
So many versions of the Bible.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think we're getting a little off topic. I don't really care too much about this.
What was the question? The specific question? When they change an imprint?
Yeah, if there's a series or a collection of certain kinds of books, like an imprint, and changes are made, are you annoyed or okay with it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm answering the question.
Yeah, I don't think I'm answering it correctly.
I don't believe in changing other people's work.
Right, I'm with you.
Ooh.
No, because it's the character. It's what the author wants to write. Like, I guess you can get angry if it's like, oh, I think I'm going to go left where I'm hearing all these noises of murder, or go right where it's sunshine and happy.
Noises of murder?
Yeah, like, if the character goes right towards the good stuff, maybe there's not going to be a book. I mean, you can disagree with choices. Characters aren't perfect people. That's the point of the story.
But I think my answer is yes.
Oh.
I think I'm more annoyed at the author. I don't get annoyed at characters because they're not real people. I'm not one of those people. I see people on Goodreads, they're like, oh, this character's a dick. Well, he's not a real person. That's the point of the story.
He's supposed to be a dick.
Yeah. I just recently read Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Now, I'm going to say here, I'm calling this a spoiler because we talked about this earlier. I'm going to share some thoughts. So if you haven't read it yet and you want to go into it blind, then skip like 20 seconds ahead or close the video. But I hate the way they ended it. I think it ruined the whole, like, it's, the way I described it to Billy is it's like you made, like, an expensive steak and then squirted that purple ketchup from 2001 on it. That's what I felt like the ending was. And that was, the reason I didn't like the ending is because of a choice that a character made. So,
okay.
I guess my answer is yes.
Okay, interesting. To me, I would just feel like, I guess I don't like this book if, like, the ending was ruined for me like that, you know? Not really angry at the character's choice. I guess, like you were saying, more at the author.
Yeah. We talked about this, so the two people who tagged us said some pretty good stuff, and I agree with them, and I
think they both
don't
said
know
this.
if this is bad when you do a tag video, if you're just, like, repeating the stuff that other people said, but I agree. People who, like, put all their red books together, and then all their orange and their yellow, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are your priorities in this world? And the people that put their books backwards.
Oh, I don't get that.
Do you not know how to read?
Like on your shelf like this.
Are you an idiot? I don't know why you're doing that.
I don't know why
you're
doing that.
And then I think Steve Donahue mentioned this, and I was like, that's interesting, but I haven't seen people do it. And then since we watched his video, I've seen it on TikTok. People wrapping their books with brown paper bags.
Yeah.
How much time do you have on your hands? I saw a girl, and I don't think she's the only one doing it, so that's why I'm talking about this, because I don't think people will figure out who I'm talking about. But her books were all wrapped in paper, and then she numbered them. That is a level of... There's got to be a pill for that. That's weird.
It's almost like bookstores selling you bundles of books, like... Surprise, here's a bunch of mystery books in a brown paper bag. Do
we not spend enough money on shit in this country that you have to blindly buy something?
I have a list of probably hundreds of books that I want to read, you know? Like,
but my point is,
I don't need to buy some random
cost of living
curated...
is high enough. I'm not forking over $40 for you to give me a book that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, a fool and his money are easily parted.
We're getting off topic a little bit.
I'm sorry.
My fault. Okay, I think this is the last question.
Ooh. I think we've done that all throughout this video.
Yeah.
I will say this. We talk about this a lot, and we might lose subscribers when I say this.
Uh-oh.
If you are capable of reading, you are not blind, and you don't have a learning disability, listening to an audiobook is not reading.
Yeah, I say this a lot, and Noelle, actually, it seems she defends it a bit more. You definitely consume the book.
Well, because you started saying you didn't read that book.
Yeah, you didn't read it, if you're
But
listening
I
to
did
it.
consume it, and I did experience it. I just chose to be lazy in the way I read it.
Yeah.
And like I said, if audiobooks are the only way you can get through a book, I'm not judging you. That is reading for you. But if you're an able person who can read, then I don't consider that reading.
Yeah, and I feel like people are padding out their number of, like, read per year list for whatever reason. I really don't understand that. I guess it's good to have a goal, but the goal being like 125 books is insane.
Quality over quantity. I keep seeing people say, like, I read this pamphlet that I wasn't interested in, so I could hit my goal. And like,
I need to read a short book because I have 2 days left in February.
Do you actually want to read that short book? Because if you're just reading it for adding a number to your like, that is life is short.
And I'm also not hating on audiobooks. I like audiobooks. I just find that a lot of times I like it so much that I'm like, I want to read this. It's a different experience. I mean, the whoever's reading it can be really enjoyable. Like we've said before, Neil Gaiman, I found him fantastic at reading his novel. But you have to really pay attention.
Oh my God,
And I was listening to audiobooks while I exercised or like cooked or did some cleaning and stuff like that. And it's like I found myself rewinding because you miss something. You in some of these books you can miss a sentence or two and that ruins something for the whole book. You miss out on it.
It's so much easier for me to read it with my eyes because I don't move on until I've understood what I've just read.
Right.
Whereas an audiobook, you can go back, like I listen to my audiobooks in the Libby app and you can skip back. Well, I guess that's not skipping, but you can go back 15 seconds at a time or you can seek, but it's just easier. I'm not a great listener, I think.
All right, well, the battery thing is up, so we should wrap up. You want to just say, like, we'll tag anyone who's watching?
Oh, yeah. Whoever's watching this, we're tagging you. We're new to BookTube, and we don't know everybody's channel name, but feel free to do this tag if you haven't done it yet. We will write the questions in the description.
Yeah, we will.
And thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.